there, brilliant people. So today I want to talk about a video that I saw earlier in the week. This video comes from a YouTube channel called Beau the Fifth Column. I think the guy's name who runs the channel is called Justin King. I'll link the video below. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because he's talking about, in his own way, from a guy's perspective, he's talking about what I call the 3-month rule. It's a little bit different from the 3-month rule that you might have heard about. But he's talking about actually for men when they're dating a single mum and there's a bit of a delay in them getting to meet the children. And he talks about it from a man's perspective, which is great. So, I'm going to talk about it from a woman's perspective, and I'm going to talk about it also from the perspective of the patterns of relationships, because it's those patterns that the more that we understand them, the easier it is to create the kind of relationship that we want. And this is a pattern that, it can affect obviously any relationship, but it's particularly obvious in heterosexual relationships because in our society generally, women are conditioned to be nice and men are conditioned to be upfront. And so we tend to approach relationships in that same way. Men are very upfront. When they meet you, it's like, really, with men, what you get, that's, what you see is what you get. Don't make sure you're having a relationship, not a project. It's not about trying to get into a relationship with a guy thinking you're going to change him. Like with guys, they are upfront. What you see is what you get. But of course, guys, unless they're aware of it, they tend to think that women are the same way, that women, when they first start dating, that what they see is what they're going to get. But remember, women are conditioned to be nice. And so because of that, when women first meet men, they have on their society manners. They're going to treat you the same way they would treat someone that they just met at a work mix-up. They're going to, they might be a little sassy, they might have interesting conversation, but they're going to have their society manners. And why I call it the 3-month rule is because after about 3 months, guys think, for them, the relationship is like a jelly. After about 3 months, they think the relationship has set. They think that that's what they're going to get. And that's why sometimes guys think that women have tricked them into a relationship because they don't understand that's not how women operate. That first 3 months, no. Guys, I'm sorry, you're on probation. The woman hasn't even, she might be dating you, but there's a big difference between, dating probation and really dating. Like, probation is really just deciding whether this is worth pursuing. And, real dating is then practicing the relationship that we are going to develop in the future, moving forward. So this causes problems because then after 3 months, when the woman actually then starts to be her real self, sometimes guys go, oh, this isn't who I thought I was dating. And obviously that can be upsetting for women because it's like, as soon as I showed him my true self, he started not liking it or whatever. So, what is the advice around that? Well, for men, don't let the jelly set after 3 months. Give it 6 months. Because by that time, you've gone through the probationary period and you're into the real relationship. And now look, it won't necessarily be 6 months. In fact, in that video that I mentioned, the one that's linked down below, you'll find that he talks about the fact that women will only, really start, the real relationship. He says it differently, but that's what he means. after they've had a disagreement with their partner. You know, and this is very true, because the thing is, when you've had a disagreement with someone, you get a very clear idea how much longevity this relationship has. Because with every disagreement that we have, we'll come out of it and the relationship will either be stronger because we've used the disagreement, you know, we've approached it from the point of view of it's the problem, not the person. So we've approached it from the point of view that, okay, this is a problem because we're a bit different. We need to figure out a way that this situation is going to work for both of us in the future. And you solve the disagreement through negotiation and just figuring out how you're going to do that. When you do that, your relationship is stronger. In fact, every disagreement you have, when you've handled it in this way, it won't come up again, because now you know how to work that situation so that it does work for your partner. But however, if you make it the person, not the problem, then you've just broken the trust in the relationship. It means that every time there's a problem, people are going to be made wrong. They're going to perhaps exchange insults. You do that, you break the trust in the relationship. And if you do that, well, then every disagreement, you've broken the relationship a little bit more. So then we know, okay, well, this might be fun, but it's not going to be a long-term relationship. Because if every time we have a disagreement, the relationship is broken a little bit more, how much can the relationship take? You know, how many little chips and breaks can the relationship take before it's completely broken? So, yes, so understanding that is really helpful, and also for women to understand that, you know, if they are serious about this guy, to do their best, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable and against your conditioning, to do their best to be upfront, particularly around the things that are really important to you. And for guys to understand that you might, you know, because guys are very upfront, you may have chosen, right, we're in this relationship, but the woman might take longer to decide that. And first of all, she's got to see how you handle things when things get sticky. So I hope that sheds further sheds further light on that video if you've seen it. If not, it's worth a view. And in your relationships and also out of them, remember that you're brilliant.